So ThorFire contacted me recently and asked me about doing a review and a giveaway of what they claim is their portable searchlight. This is the ThorFire S70S. It is their newest and highest lumen model of the S70, and I'm going to today compare it against the duty light that I use as a police officer, the Streamlight Stinger LED. I'm going to put it head to head against the Streamlight Stinger LED in some tasks that are pertinent for police and security use, but especially for security use, as I think that's really where this light is going to excel. We're going to get into exactly why I think that here in a moment, but first we're going to talk about the features of this particular light, how it works, and what comes in the box.
Where are you going? Get out of the way!
Now, the specification that jumps out at everyone right out front is the 3,960 lumens. Now, for 3,960 lumens, that's not really something that most people can even fathom that amount of light until you start comparing it against other lights, or let's say the headlights on a car. This light comes at 3,960 lumens, but it also has lower ratings in the 3, 6, and 900 lumen areas. Inside the box, we get the light, a small manual, and a carry strap. Yes, a carry strap. And that points out a very important thing about this light, is how incredibly heavy it is. This light is easily twice the weight of the duty light that I use currently. But the reason it's twice that weight is because of how much heat it puts off on turbo mode. There are actually 4 LEDs inside the bezel of this light, 4 distinct LEDs, and all of them fire at once at turbo mode and put off an incredible amount of heat in order to create that nearly 4,000 lumens. The operation of the light is pretty simple, and to keep you from accidentally shining yourself with 4,000 lumens on accident, the 2 switches on it each do distinct functions. The tail cap switch is a safety. You have to push the tail cap switch first, and then as you see, when you push the tail cap switch, the switch on the head turns green to tell you it is charged and ready to work, and then the switch on the head operates the light head. The first push of the light head switch gets you low mode, which is 65 lumens. 65 lumens is about what incandescent or xenon Surefire lights used to be 10 years ago. Reference my other videos about police flashlights, where we've come and where we're heading. Second push of the switch gets you 320 lumens, and then the third push of the switch gets you 1,800 lumens. At 1,800 lumens, this is so bright that it starts really washing out the camera. And then, beyond that, turbo mode is 3,960 lumens. If you fast click the switch, you get 1,800 lumens of strobe. Now on turbo, we're talking nearly an hour of runtime, and at low, you're talking at 65 lumens, 72 hours of runtime. And this is why I say that this would be an excellent light for security work. Even though it's heavy, you get 72 hours of runtime at an actual usable amount. Lots of lights will give you 60 or 70 hours of runtime, but they'll only give you 20 or 30 lumens during that time period. 65 lumens is enough to actually do your job, but you could run this light realistically all week as a warehouse security guard and not have to recharge it. And that gets me on to another important point as why this would work really well for security work, is that it comes with the ability to use rechargeable batteries. The light takes 2 18650 rechargeable batteries, which are fairly cheap and available. I found mine on Amazon for less than $20 for 2 of them with a charger. Now let's take a look at what the light can do when put head-to-head against my duty light and against the headlights on my car, because that's what I had to resort to in order to find something that was even comparable in brightness to this.
As we all know, the lumen ratings for flashlights don't always mean anything when you compare them directly to each other. They tell us how much light is being put out, but not really how that light is focused and how the flashlight is going to use it and project it out into the environment. So we're going to go head to head between known variables here. We're going to start with my Streamlight Stinger LED. You can see it makes it 80 yards across this field to the warehouse on the other side. Next, I'm going to use the headlights on my car. These are just normal car headlights, old incandescent style high beams. You can tell they put off an awful lot of light in a pretty narrow cone. They're made for throw, as high beams generally are. Next, we're going to show you the Thorfire S70S. The S70S puts out a boatload of light. In fact, you can see when the light comes down toward the grass, it actually washes the camera out. There's so much light, but it kind of muscles its way the distance to the building and pushes further than any flashlight that I've really used in recent history. And I think it's doing it by just putting out so many lumens, even though it's not a focused beam. Next, we're going to look at it in an alley. This is just a normal alleyway in a suburban area. You can see my Streamlight Stinger LED. It gets the job done. It can shine down the alley, but it kind of creates a spot. It's meant to optimize the throw of the 250 to 300 lumens that you get out of that light. And next, I'm going to show the Thorfire S70S. Again, muscles its way to getting throw. It muscles its way to getting distance by putting out so much light that you get some of the light reaches all the way out. What this gives you is a huge area that's flooded with light around that central spot area. So you can see almost as though it's daylight when you look down the alley with it. Again, you see some of the washout as the light gets close. Finally, we're going to look at the light through the windows of tinted glass. This is normal Mopar tinted glass like we've used in all of the other flashlight reviews from a Dodge Grand Caravan. This is my Streamlight Stinger LED, 250 to 300 lumens, depending on charge. You can see that it creates a little spot of light. It's enough to look around inside the car. This is what I normally use at work. And then we're going to show the Thorfire S70S. The S70S is so bright that it again washes out when it's this close, but you can see how it really punches through the glass. It's interesting to see when I started to turn the light down that you can still see about the same corona, and that's because the spot on the camera blinds the sensor in the middle and darkens the entire image. But you're really getting an incredible amount of light. You can kind of see when it comes off to the side how you're still getting a huge amount of corona in the car. When you turn it on, it lights up the entire interior of the car and creates a bright, bright spot.
So as you can see, the Thorfire S70S is an excellent searchlight at night, rivaled only by lights physically mounted to vehicles. Now, it is extremely heavy, but for a security application where if you're one of the hundreds of thousands of security guards in the United States that are only really allowed to have a flashlight or maybe a flashlight and a radio and are working in midnights at a warehouse or a large facility, the beam and throw that this light allows you with its rechargeable ability and the ability to go almost a week between recharging with normal use at low mode means it's a very versatile light for that application where the weight of the light isn't going to be such a big deal because it's pretty much the only thing you're going to be carrying. I think this light would serve any security guard, especially someone who only has to carry a flashlight around, very well, and because of that, we're giving this light away. If you want to win this light, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment, and in that comment, leave me an email address I can get a hold of you at. And at the end of May, I'm going to pick a random name, and we're going to do another video where we give this light away. Until next week, you guys be safe and take care of each other. I'd like to thank all the Patreon supporters, and especially the Shift Supervisor level Patreon supporters that we have listed here. Your contributions are what allows free field training to continue on and become better. Thank you.